Formula One racing, drivers and team principals are the most popular characters among fans, as they are the characters that we see on race day. But drivers are not the only figures who are responsible for those victories, as the F1 challenger is more important than skills in racing. So, work teams in factories always play a bigger role behind each of the successful F1 teams. But the names of those engineers or technicians are not as popular, and they always stay as silent heroes behind the success of a Formula One team. However, you may surely be familiar with the name Adrian Newey, who is regarded as the most successful designer in F1. The current Chief Technical Officer of the Red Bull team has designed the cars for several Formula One teams, winning 10 Constructors' Championships and 11 Drivers' Championships. Most recently, Adrian Newey's name became quite popular again, with the accusation against Aston Martin for copying Newey's design concepts in the RB19 with the help of Dan Fallows, who is a close associate of the Red Bull Chief Technical Officer during his period at Milton Keynes. Newey is simply an aerodynamic wizard, as his techniques and design concepts are in another league compared to other designers in F1. But did you know that Newey and a few other Williams designing team members were charged with manslaughter following the death of Ayrton Senna in a Williams car, which included design concepts of Newey's as well? This wizard also has many ups and downs in a 4-decade-long F1 career, and we are going to discuss the story of Adrian Newey through this video. But before we proceed, hit the subscribe button and smash the bell icon for more exciting updates. He learned aeronautics and astronautics at the University of Southampton and graduated in 1980 with a first in his class. Then he started working with racing teams immediately and joined Fittipaldi Formula One team under Harvey Postlethwaite. Then, for the 1981 season, he joined with March Racing Team, and at the same time, he worked as a race engineer for Johnny Cecotto in the European F2 Championship as well. His career as a pure designer began with the March GTP sports car project for IMSA GTP Championship. It was a highly successful design from the inexperienced designer, winning back-to-back titles in 2 consecutive years. Then he was assigned to the March IndyCar project and had to work as a race engineer and designer for Bobby Rahal at True Sports. Then, Newey's March 85C design used by Al Unser won the 1985 Kart Championship. Danny Sullivan used the same car to record a victory at the Indianapolis 500 in the same year. Then he moved to Krakow as the designer of Michael Andretti's car that was used for the 1986 IndyCar series. Newey's March 86C design supplied to Bobby Rahal was successful enough to win both the 1986 kart title and Indianapolis 500 again. In order to search his fortunes as an F1 designer, he joined with Lola Haas F1 team at the end of the 1986 season. Unfortunately, the team suddenly withdrew from the sport after the conclusion of that season, not allowing enough opportunity for Newey to show his skills in F1. But Haas management gave the opportunity for young Newey to work with the Newman Haas team as the race engineer for Mario Andretti in 1987. Good fortune remained with Newey, as he was hired as the chief designer of the March F1 team with the success that he showed as a designer in other racing categories with March. His first assignment was to design the March 88-1 Challenger used for the 1988 season, and that car was more competitive than rivals thought, thanks to its great aerodynamic performance. However, the March team enjoyed little success, as its engine performance was not sufficient enough to challenge the title in any of the seasons. He was promoted to the role of technical officer when the March team was restructured as Leighton House Racing in 1990. But that summer, he was suddenly fired from the team without proper reasoning. But there were many teams in the paddock who would want the services of this magical designer. Talking later about this incident, Newey said, "I was fired, but I'd already made up my mind I was going, because once a team gets run by an accountant, it's time to move. Your self-confidence does suffer, but Williams had approached me. he was immediately hired by Williams' F1 team, who was at the peak point of its success. Newey's partnership with its technical director, Patrick Head, resulted in some incredible outputs, which were significant enough to challenge the title in the early 90s. Their first output, FW14, for the 1991 season, was almost identical to the previous dominant McLaren body design. However, it was strong enough to challenge the title with Nigel Mansell. Unfortunately, Senna was unstoppable in that season and was able to defend the threat of Mansell thanks to the reliability issues of the FW14 as well. But in the next season, Williams were able to come up with a complete package to challenge both titles. That was the first time world titles were won by a Newey's F1 car. They brought the same rhythm to the 1993 season with FW15C, and this time Alain Prost was the champion. However, the 1994 design experienced a slight decline in its performance, and Schumacher was more dominant with Benetton. Adding a huge black mark to Newey's designing career, Ayrton Senna died in a crash at the 1994 San Marino Grand Prix while driving a Williams car. Even though Williams lost the driver's title to Benetton, they were able to secure a third consecutive constructors title in 1994. With manslaughter charges on Newey's design after Senna's crash, his relationship with the Williams team started to crack. In 1995, he was ready for a promotion to the technical director role of the team, but Patrick Head, who was a founding shareholder of the team, blocked his way. The 1995 season was totally disastrous for Williams, losing both titles to Benetton. But Williams came back strong in the 1996 season, winning dual championships with Damon Hill and Jacques Villeneuve. But his relationship with Williams was ruined after Senna's accident, and he decided to join McLaren after a successful career at Williams with 59 victories, 78 poles, 4 drivers' titles, and 5 constructors' titles. Even though he was not with the team, his designs were used by Williams to compete in the 1997 season as well, securing dual championships again with Jacques Villeneuve. Newey joined McLaren for the 1997 season, but made less impact on the design of that season as he was on gardening leave. He concentrated on the 1998 design and was able to win both titles with Mika Hakkinen. He continued the same success to the 1999 season, clearly proving that he was the silent hero behind the success that was enjoyed by Williams in the 90s. Then, Hakkinen narrowly missed the third consecutive title to Ferrari in 2000. For the next season, he signed a contract with the Jaguar F1 team, which was managed by his former kart colleague Bob Rahal. But his move was blocked by Ron Dennis as he persuaded Newey to stay. Rahal was fired from the Jaguar team a few months later due to the issues in the team's internal politics. He stayed with McLaren without enjoying much success, as Schumacher's skill set and the strength of the Ferrari power unit made a superior combination which was hard to beat. In April 2005, his deal with McLaren expired and he got a 6-month extension till the end of that season. He had 2 options of taking a sabbatical leave or totally retiring from the sport after that season. But everything turned upside down when he was offered a contract of $10 million by a new team called Red Bull for the upcoming season. That was the next episode of his life, and it was a challenging task for the experienced Newey as well, as nothing was in a proper position to yield success within a shorter period of time. As a team, they failed again and again till 2009, finding the right balance with their challenges. Finally, the 2009 design showed a great success in terms of performance. However, they had to wait 1 more year to find consistency as a team, and the RB6 used in 2010 appeared as a complete package which could challenge the title. Young German driver Sebastian Vettel drove RB6 to the maiden championship of the Milton Keynes-based team, and with that victory, Newey became the first designer to win world titles with 3 different teams. Newey designed strong Red Bull challengers for the next 3 seasons, winning 4 consecutive championships with the Vettel-Red Bull combination. But with the main regulation changes that happened in 2014, Red Bull lost the dominancy that they maintained, as none of the power units were successful in challenging Mercedes, who became the most dominant force in F1 for the next 7 seasons. Newey had nothing to do with his designs, as Red Bull management was not successful in finding a strong engine partner. Finally, Red Bull ended their partnership with Renault and signed a partnership with Honda to supply power units. With time, this partnership became stronger and reached a good performance level at the end of the 2020 season. At last, they challenged Mercedes for the title in 2021 and were able to win the drivers' title with Verstappen. They had to wait one more year to win both championships. Most teams failed with the new aerodynamic changes introduced to the body design in 2022, but Red Bull was successful thanks to Newey's great aerodynamic designs. They easily won the 2022 season with a record-breaking 17 victories in a single season of F1. Now, we are in the 2023 season, and Newey's Red Bull challengers appear to be dominating again, with 3 victories in all 3 races concluded. So, Newey will surely increase his championship count again at the end of this season. Adrian Newey is now 64 years old and may leave the team at any time given his age, so Red Bull should have a good backup to replace his role at Red Bull. Who will be the best option to replace him? Do you have any thoughts? Share in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel to get more exciting Formula 1 news. See you guys in the next video. Goodbye.